Okay, and this is the last one I created. Chapter 3, Gesture and Poses. Regular standing poses. When getting into poses, we need to know what shapes we will be using to create the figure. So to the left are the shapes for the body parts, and to the right are those shapes in action. Okay, so let's look at the left first. These are the shapes to work with, and you'll see that there is a head, a torso, two circles for the hand palms, the pelvis, and then ovals for the feet. And now, shapes in action is when you put all those shapes together like a puzzle, and then you add lines for the arms, legs, and fingers. And then you can distort the shapes and change the overall pose. As mentioned in Chapter 1, a method to create posing is a line called the action line. The action line is the first thing drawn, and it represents the character's pose and proportion. When drawing the figure, have the shapes follow the action line's path. So over here, I drew a zigzaggy line first, and then drew the head, torso, pelvis, and all the other elements afterward. And same over here. After drawing the action line, it might be more helpful to have the head, torso, and pelvis be the next things to draw. This way, we have a better understanding on how to draw the pose of the arms and legs. Right, so in other words, you may not want to draw hands, arms, and legs first. Otherwise, it's going to be confusing. With certain dynamic poses, the head, torso, and pelvis are usually the first three things to draw in order for your character to come to life. And then here are different example poses. This one looks like, oh boy, everything bad happens to me. And then this one looks like, I am so cool. Alright, the next one. Foreshortening shots. So far, we have been studying basic poses, but foreshortening is when objects are in perspective, creating the illusion that they are larger or smaller. This means to overlap shapes. Here is a step process of how to draw a figure in both a bird's eye view and worm's eye view. So what does that mean? A bird's eye view is when you're looking down at a character, and a worm's eye view is when you're looking up at a character. Picture the shapes in a layer stack. It might be easier to start drawing the one in front first. Remember, just like in the previous page, it might be helpful to draw the head, torso, and pelvis before drawing the arms and legs. Okay, so here in a bird's eye view, because the head will be the first thing from that view, I chose to draw that one first. So I drew the head first, then the torso, which is underneath the head in the layer order, and then the pelvis, which is behind the torso layer, which is almost hiding. And then I added shoulders and hand palms, knees, and feet. Okay, and now the worm's eye view. Because you're looking up, the pelvis would be the first thing you see, and then the torso would be behind the pelvis, and then the head would be behind that. And the same thing. I added segments of where the arms and legs would stick out. Okay, this is where things get confusing. When turning the figure into a mannequin, circles can be used to create foreshortened shots. So in this example, in which the figure's hand is in the foreground, The joints are too close together for there to be a line for the arm. Instead, circles are used to map out the joints, and then a mannequin arm is drawn over the circles. So, in other words, this has more of a 3D perspective, and so I don't find lines would be helpful to indicate the limbs in this case. I'm using circles for the shoulder, the elbow, and also the hand palm, and then I'm almost overlapping them. Here is another example of a man kicking. Let's follow the same method. This time, the circles are so close to each other, it is probably difficult to tell the order. The small circle is in the middle, and the foot shape is in the front. Oh boy, this is confusing, isn't it? Yeah, I think this is where I had to stop. It was just getting to be too much, but it is a way to break things down. Dynamic poses. To make things simpler when creating dynamic poses, we can start by drawing the head and body overlapping, and then draw circles on the body for where the arms and legs stick out. Okay, so here are some examples. I added a starting pose, and notice these circles where I want the arms to stick out. I drew the lines for the arms and lines for the legs, and then ovals for the hand palms and ovals for the feet. So I just started off this way, and then once I had an idea on how I want the rest of the pose to be, then I just drew the extra lines. This guy looks like he's begging, like, please don't kill me. And then here are more examples. Okay, and that would conclude all this. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope this gives a better understanding on cartoon drawing. Please share any thoughts and opinions you may have, and let me know if there is anything that can be improved. And thank you for watching.